Who was Nathan Morris? Conservative Canton my dad shot and killed by crazed liberal neighbor. A local GOP politician in Canton Township, MI Nathan Morris, has been shot and killed by a neighbor who has been described as a crazed liberal. Morris' astounding death started with the most banal of reasons, an argument over mulch, leaving many wondering what kind of crazed person shoots anyone over such a triviality. According to reports, he was walking with his family on Saturday in the 200 block of Cornell Street when his daughter touched a neighbor's mulch. This angered the neighbor, who came out with a gun to threaten Morris and his family. Morris sent his family home to attempt to defuse the situation, but ended up getting shot. The 35-year-old sustained serious injuries from the shooting and was found by police bleeding in the streets. He was quickly transported to hospital, where he died. Meanwhile, a Givesendo fundraiser has been launched to raise funds for the surviving Morris family members, his wife and 2 daughters. Who was Nathan Morris? Nathan Morris was a 35-year-old father of 2 who was shot and killed by his neighbor, following an argument over mulch of all things. Morris was a beloved and well-known local politician who served as the secretary of the 6th Congressional District Republican Committee. He had recently ran for the Plymouth Canton Community Schools PCCS Board of Education. He was an engineer with Ford Motors and started his foray into politics after the company mandated COVID-19 vaccines. According to a statement from the Michigan GOP, Nathan Morris was married to his wife, Becky, and had 2 children, Molly and Zoe. On Saturday, August 10th, Nathan Morris and his family were taking a walk in Cornell Street in their Canton Township neighborhood when tragedy struck. One of his daughters had apparently touched a neighbor's mulch, and this enraged neighbor, whom online posts have identified as a crazed liberal, came out to confront them with a gun. Morris sent his family home and attempted to talk things out with the neighbor, but he was shot. Police found him bleeding in the streets and took him to a hospital, where he died. News personality Ron Dwyer, reporting the incident on Facebook, noted the political affiliations of those involved. Republican Nathan Morris, 35, was shot and killed by a crazed liberal neighbor on Cornell Street in Canton Township, Michigan, after his daughter touched the neighbor's mulch while on a walk. He wrote. He added that the suspect barricaded himself in his home after the shooting before later surrendering to police. The Michigan GOP sent out a statement honoring Morris following his demise. Nate was a great dad and good man. To think his life was taken because his daughter was playing with mulch in someone's yard is unfathomable. Even in his final act as a dad, he was protecting his children by sending them home while he tried to defuse the situation. The Michigan GOP statement read, according to neighbors who spoke to the press, the neighbor involved in the shooting was known to have quarrelsome tendencies. He has yet to be identified by the police or the press. In light of his tragic passing, a Givesendo fundraiser has been started for the Morris family. The fundraiser, with a goal $25,000, has raised approximately $16,459 at the time of filing this report. In a tribute, Edward McCall said of Morris, "He will be missed by the hundreds of people who knew him, loved him, and enjoyed his can-do spirit and strong focus on the work and responsibilities which he took on at the cost of precious family time, especially reading to his children at bedtime." This post was published on August 12, 2024, 3:56 p.m. A Canton Township man who allegedly shot and killed his neighbor during a confrontation Saturday has been charged with first-degree murder. Devereaux Christopher Johnson, 47, is accused of shooting and killing his neighbor, Nathan Morris, 35, Saturday morning in the 200 block of Cornell Street. Police responded to a report of a shooting following a short confrontation between neighbors at around 11:48 a.m. Saturday. When officers arrived, they found Morris in the street, suffering from a gunshot wound. After shooting Morris, Johnson barricaded himself inside his house before eventually surrendering to police, officials say. Morris was taken to an area hospital, where he died from his injuries. An autopsy shows Morris died from multiple gunshot wounds. This was a senseless act of violence toward the victim, said Canton Police Chief Chad Baugh. The Canton Police Department sends our deepest condolences to the victim's family and to the neighbors who may have witnessed this tragic event. A husband and father of two, Morris served as secretary for the 6th Congressional District Republican Committee. Nathan Morris was a friend, a fellow patriot, a strong Christian, a wonderful husband to Becky, and a great dad to Molly and Zoe, said RNC National Committee woman Hema Kalinajirity in a statement. He was an engineer at Ford Motors and got involved in politics when Ford mandated COVID-19 vaccines. He ran for Canton School Board to make schools safe for his daughters. I worked closely with him as the former chair of the Me 6th CDRC and as the member of the Wayne 6th CDRC, of which he was the secretary. Johnson was arraigned Monday afternoon on charges of first-degree murder, felon in possession of a firearm, and 2 counts of felony firearm. He is being held without bond. Police say Johnson is considered a flight risk given he has family in Indiana and Chicago and had traveled to Vietnam in 2022. Johnson was convicted of sexual assault in Nevada in 2005 and is on the Michigan Sex Offender Registry. He's due back in court for a probable cause conference on August 23rd.